About a half a lap away from the start of this 65-lap event. It's a 2.7-mile street course that they're running in here this afternoon. You can see the high rises on both sides of the course. A very picturesque setting here for the IndyCar opener for 1991. We'll get the green flag and we'll be off for an afternoon or an evening, depending upon where you are. And Michael Andretti is raising the fist already, Kevin.
He just got touched by Eddie, I think, and he's a little upset. There's definitely only one room for one car when he gets to the first set of S's right now, so this will be interesting.
Here they come. The green flag is out, and we are racing at Surfers Paradise. The 91 kart season is underway as the car storms southbound now and go through the first set of chicanes. There are two quick areas of chicanes here, and we're watching to see if all the cars get through okay. They apparently have. Already the top of the field through the second set of chicanes, and everybody appears to be in good shape, Kevin.
Yeah, it looks like a Michael and Little Al story all over again. Little Al moved up into second very quickly, so it's going to be between the same two guys that raced all year last year very tightly.
Eddie Cheever is running third. Bobby Rahal back in fourth position as now we move inside Al Unser Jr.'s car. He is running second behind Michael Andretti, the leader of the race, as Little Al was able to position himself around Eddie Cheever, who was really the fastest car for most of the weekend. And look at this. Al Unser Jr. has taken the lead away from Michael Andretti before the conclusion of lap number 1.
Very aggressive on Little Al's part.
And here comes Eddie Cheever trying to take over second spot from Michael Andretti. A terrific battle there for second spot as Cheever in the red car tries to get by but cannot. Holding on to that third spot as Bobby Rahal holds in fourth position. We're seeing some great dicing here in the opening seconds of this event. Number 1. The third member of our broadcast crew this afternoon as the car spins in the chicane. That's Scott Goodyear. Scott Goodyear has spun. The car is out of the groove, and I don't think it's going to create any problems, but Scott Goodyear losing control of the number 15 machine as Al... The caution flags waving now throughout the course. There you can see they're being displayed at the start-finish line, indicating that the pace car will be coming onto the track. The reason for it, the number 39 car of Dennis Vitolo apparently went into one of the escape areas, and they're now positioning it to get it back in onto the race course. So Dennis, the 15 car of Scott Goodyear is on pit road. This car, you'll recall, spun in one of the chicanes a couple of minutes ago, and he is in. Looks like they're checking the spark plugs on that car. Here we go. The lights in the pace car out. It takes the turn to the left, and the green flag waves once again. We are racing again at Surfers Paradise. Michael Andretti on the rear wing of the Al Unser Jr. car as they go through the first chicane. And the kart safety vehicle on the track once again. He's able to get by it easily. Here comes Michael Andretti, still running in second position in the number 2 car. And then comes Eddie Cheever. New sponsorship on the Eddie Cheever car this year. There's the separation between the two. And then following Eddie, quite a few car lengths behind, is Bobby Rahal. Early stages of the IndyCar Gold Coast Grand Prix from Surfers Paradise. It's Al Unser Jr. leading Michael Andretti, Eddie Cheever, Bobby Rahal, and Mario Andretti. Second 5, Emerson Fittipaldi, Rick Mears, Danny Sullivan, John Andretti, and Ari Lyondike is running in 10th position. There's the number 12 car of Mark Dismore on pit road. Mark, the 1990 Toyota Atlantic champion, winning 80% of his races and making his IndyCar start here today in Queensland. Let's go down to the pits in South. Oh, Eddie Cheever has passed Michael Andretti, so we have a new second place car. Eddie Cheever getting around Michael Andretti as Al Unser Jr. continues to lead. This pushrod problem, Kevin, is this something that may be inherent to the 91 cars? Here, by the way, is a replay of the pass Ooh, they got really close going into one of the chicanes, but Eddie was able to outrate Michael and take the spot away.
That was a very, very tight part of the course to make a pass, and it was difficult for Michael to actually avoid Eddie when he came through there. And it was very close.
What about this push rod? All out for it. He brushed the wall at one point and then slid through. Oh, Hiro Matsushita has crashed.
That looks fairly serious.
Well, he is getting out of the car, but he has damaged that car severely. Hiro Matsushita crashing here at Surfers Paradise, and we do not see the full course caution flag being displayed, but the indication is that there is a safety vehicle on the track, and here is Scott Pruitt in for a pit stop. They're refueling the True Sports car and changing tires on it as Scott Pruitt completes the work and rolls back out as we watch the action on the race course. Engine problems, and we will be going to a full course yellow. There are the yellow flags coming out right now, so our second full course caution, and the leader of the race, Al Unser Jr., enters pit road for his first scheduled stop of the day, and Eddie Cheever apparently also will come in. There's the Al Unser Jr. crew going to work as the Cheever crew waits for their driver to come in. He stops. And let's go to Sally Larby.
And I'm in between Michael and Al Unser Jr. Al Unser Jr. is already out. A very fast pit stop for him, and Michael follows him. No problem at all. They were able to put the fuel in, get the tires on, and get them on their way.
Little Al going back into competition under caution. Nice wide pit area and nice long pit area that was made here at Surfers Paradise, giving the crews plenty of room to work. All right, they come down the main straightaway looking for the green flag and a resumption of racing. Here we go. It's lap number 23, and we are back to green. Al Unser Jr. continues to show the way. Michael Andretti is right there in second. Then comes Cheever, Rahal, Mario, Emo, Rick.
We can see that the strategy is going to change it all now. Michael, now's the chance, because he's, you know,
lighten him up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. He is trying a little harder than before.
Yes, he is. He really had to climb on him. Back live at Surfers Paradise and the 1991 Kart PPG IndyCar World Series season opener. The Gold Coast IndyCar Grand Prix. Al Unser Jr. leading Michael Andretti, Eddie Cheever, and Bobby Rahal, with whom you're riding right now. And they're
Eddie Cheever got by Michael there. Almost the same way that he did before. It was very tight.
I believe that was Mario, wasn't it, that was taking the spot away from Bobby Rahal.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Mario has taken fourth spot away from Bobby Rahal. So Rahal now is back to fifth position.
Play of 1990, really these two guys go at it every race.
Here is the number 5 car of Emerson Fittipaldi on pit road, and this is not a scheduled pit stop.
No, they got the back of the tail off. That's always a bad sign. Well, if fuel plays any role in the finish of this race, you know, it's really any man's race. Just whoever gets the best mileage.
There's that blue smoke again from the Valvoline number 1, driven by Al Unser Jr. And again, we see that Michael Andretti has closed in. It was almost 2 seconds between the two. Look at Michael hop over the bumps.
Boy, I tell you, Michael, he takes the chicanes differently than just about everybody else. I was wondering if little Al, this blue smoke thing that he has all this time, is kind of like when you're playing tennis with somebody and you complain about a bad knee or something.
Well, now the interval is only about a second, and it's really very closer than that. Yeah, as under braking, Michael is really able to pull in. You can see Michael Andretti has just taken the lead from Al Unser Jr. Boy, he pursued and he tried and finally was able to outbrake little Al, and Michael Andretti has gone into the lead.
As Murphy's Law would have it, of course, during the commercial break, Michael was all over little Al and trying several times and finally got by.
But don't count little Al out. He's there in second position and keeping Michael in sight. Our Quaker State in-car camera showing you the view. And here's how the pass occurred, Kevin.
he actually lost it slightly there and still collected it and made the pass. I mean, he really was sliding in both directions.
We're past the halfway mark. We've got 25 laps to go. We're on lap number 40. And the second leader of the afternoon, Michael Andretti, has taken the top spot from Al Unser Jr. Come to Australia. Barry Green is from about 100 miles south of Perth, which is to the west of us here in Queensland. Now the 86 car of Jeff Andretti is about to be lapped by Michael Andretti.
This is probably the first time that this has happened, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, probably is. Let's see. Jeff
Whoa,
is
there's Little Al just lost it.
Little Al has crashed, and another car, and another car.
Took
Mario involved. Who else? Was that Cheever?
Possibly. It looked like Little Al just lost it there, and Mario was unfortunate.
No place to go for Mario Andretti, who was coming along behind Al Unser Jr., and 19 is also involved in the crash. Number 19 would be Randy Lewis.
It's possible there's another car behind Little Al. I can't
think
quite
there is.
see from that camera angle, but it looks like...
Well, Little Al's race ends, and the car...
Yes, Eddie Cheever.
Yes, it is. It is Eddie Cheever. That is...
Oh, that's a shame.
So this crash has taken out second and third position. Let's see how it occurred.
Yeah, Al just lost it.
Yep.
Looks like.
And here comes Eddie Cheever along and has no place to go.
He had nowhere to go.
And neither did Mario as he ran over the front end.
His tire almost hit Mario in the head. That was scary looking.
Second, third, and fourth crash. Here it is again. Now that is that's Michael passing Jeff, and then when Little Al came up to try to pass, there was no contact between the two cars. It just looks like that Al lost it.
Well, you know, Al lost it, but I'll tell you, he was anticipating Jeff staying to the right, and Jeff was taking the corner in a normal line, and I think that threw off Little Al, and that's what caused the whole thing.
And here comes Eddie Cheever, and he runs out of racetrack and piles into the back of Little Al's car, and then Mario, with no place to go, runs over the front end of Little Al's car. And here it is from our Quaker State in-car camera.
Yeah, see, Jeff just took a normal line, and Little Al had no choice. I think Al probably needed to wait a few seconds for that.
Now he looks behind him and feels the impact of Eddie Cheever hitting him, and then Mario comes along and runs over the front of the car. Good audio there from our Quaker State in-car camera. Boy, a tough way to exit a race.
Both significant hits, and you know, I'd tell you, there's just both of the guys, Mario and Eddie, were complete victims. It's
fourth position or better. The green flag waves again, and we are back to competition here at Surfers Paradise.
John Andretti.
The second, Danny Sullivan, as you saw, came in for a pit stop, and so that means that Rick Mears is second, and John Andretti does indeed move up to third position, and he's right there with Rick Mears in a battle for second.
And everybody watching this has to remember that Rick Mears is not the yellow car. Rick Mears is the white and red car.
You're absolutely right. Most people, if they are joining our telecast and haven't been following what's happened over the winter, Rick Mears is not in the Pennzoil car. The sponsorship went to Jim Hall and VDS and John Andretti. Instead, Rick Mears is in the Marlboro sponsored car, number 3. The number 42 car is 14th. And the last car on the track. Now Rick is really closed in on Michael.
Rick is little by little now he's right on Michael's tail.
And as they come down the next time, there will be 10 laps to go. And look at Rick Mears. He is really now on the rear wing of the Kmart Lola, driven by Michael Andretti.
Michael is actually having to block a little bit. I'm surprised that he was running so much on the inside. Rick's all over him at this point.
And Australian television showing us, that
here's why.
Michael got a little hard on the brakes there and got the rear end around a little. Here's a pass. Rick Mears goes into the lead. Rick Mears takes the lead from Michael Andretti.
I think brakes might have played a pretty big role in that, actually, because it looked like Michael was having difficulty with the brakes. And maybe over the long run, the pedal is starting to fade on him.
Wide and turn of events here. They come out of the final corner, the Southport turn, and head south on Pacific Highway. And when they come down in front of us and cross the line, it'll be 55 laps completed, 10 more to go. And the third leader of the afternoon is Rick Mears. And here's how he got the lead.
It shows that Rick has about a 2-second lead on Michael already. He pulled it up very quickly.
Rick Mears is indeed a road racer, and he is proving that here this afternoon.
Well, he has a huge lead. I don't even see Michael. Michael's disappeared.
And again, we will tell you that the pictures you are seeing are being provided by Australian Channel 9 television, and we do not have the ability to go to any other shot so that we can show you where Michael Andretti is, or for instance where he might be in relation to third place John Andretti. But I think John has passed him, and maybe this is how that happened.
Well, they're showing a 5-second lead between Rick and Michael just the last time by.
Now, there has to be something that has gone wrong with that Michael Andretti car, because he is back to third place. John Andretti is now in second spot. And there you can see the yellow car now coming out of the corner and pursuing the leader, Rick Mears. So John Andretti has worked his way up to second, and Michael is back to third. We did have that long caution period because of the accident. The accident involving Alan and Michael Andretti into the wall. This is a live in-car shot. There you can see Michael walking away from the crash in the upper left. But Michael Andretti has also now crashed. And here is the replay. We'll see what happened, Kevin. Oh, he went to the runoff area.
Yeah, he's having a braking problem, and he purposely tried to go off into the runoff there. Yeah, I've noticed that Rick has been locking a tire here and there. It could be just the track, but it'd be interesting if he developed a brake problem at this late stage.
And now a lot of traffic to maneuver through here in the last couple of laps. Randy Lewis in car number 19 is ahead. So is Dean Hall in car number 21. And Rick will have to dispense of these guys if he is to maintain that interval over John Andretti in second place. Roger Penske with the stopwatch in hand, communicating with the driver. Now Rick will pass Randy Lewis and will now try to pass Dean Hall. Oh, and a crash. Oh, and Rick is taken out.
Oh.
Rick is taken out.
Let's see what happens when the next guys come around.
Randy Lewis and Dean Hall came together, and Rick was also involved in the incident. This may give John Andretti the win.
Yep, there goes John.
Rick Mears trying to get the car pointed in the right direction. There he goes, lighting up the tires and taking off, but he now finds himself as the pursuer. Unbelievable turn of events here in this first IndyCar race of the year.
Terrible luck.
Let's take a look at what happened. Now, Rick had cleanly passed Dean Hall, or it appeared to me as if that was the way it was, and then contact between Randy Lewis
and Rick
and Dean Hall and Rick Mears.
Actually, I think Rick touched Lewis slightly, and then Dean got into it.
Here's an overhead shot of what happened.
No, Rick just overshot.
Yep.
Rick just plain overshot the corner. He just broke. He hit his brakes a little too late.
All this with now 3 laps to go. And Rick Mears has fallen back to third place. The leader of the race is John Andretti. Second place is Bobby Rahal, who finished second on so many occasions last year and is in second spot this year in the first race.
Might have been involved in that, so he was the right distance back and was able to take advantage of his misfortune.
Racing is a game of luck and circumstances. John Andretti has taken the white flag. He is on his last lap. The margin between first and second position is now shown about 14.5 seconds. So John Andretti is well on his way to victory. He doesn't have to concern himself with second place if that car can complete the next half lap. Bobby Rahal is second. Mears is back to third following that incident just a few moments ago. Danny Sullivan in the Alfa Romeo powered car is fourth, and the True Sports All-American effort with Scott Pruitt is running in fifth position. There is Hall. waiting for their driver to come around the final time and take the checkered flag, giving John Andretti his first win ever in IndyCar competition, and as Kevin said at the beginning of the program, giving him a psychological edge on everybody else heading to the next street course race at Long Beach, then Phoenix, and then, of course, Indianapolis. Jeff Andretti being shown in 7th position as he crosses the line. Mike Roth is 8th, Ari Leyendijk 9th, and Tony Bettenhausen in his first ride with Chevrolet Power is shown in 10th position. And those are going to be the only cars, I believe, that finish this race. The Pennzoil crew watches their driver, John Andretti, as he maneuvers through the very final turn of the course. Here he comes onto the Pacific Highway, headed southbound to the checkered flag. John Andretti from Indianapolis, Indiana. The checkered flag is waved. John raises his hand. The Gold Coast IndyCar Grand Prix goes to John Andretti. What a happy young man he is.
I think the whole team is probably in a state of shock to a brand new organization and come out and win the first race. That's pretty amazing.
What a way to make a return to IndyCar racing. There is Bobby Rahal, who will finish in 2nd position. Rick Mears will go 3rd. Danny Sullivan 4th, and Scott Pruitt in 5th position. Jim Hall, congratulations.